Hi guys, how's it going? I'm very, very, very excited to be doing the intro, and I'm really excited about this seminar. As you guys might know, I check all of the seminars for years now for my dad. For those who don't know, I'm Gal Ezra, Meir's son, and today I'm going to be showing you, and we're going to be starting a very, very exciting series. I've seen it all, and I want to just do the introduction, get you guys started, and also tell you what to expect, and it's going to be fantastic. Okay, so before we get into it today, I want to tell you why I'm doing this introduction and what you can expect, and will I be doing more of this in the future? Well, that's the idea for today. So, first of all, why am I presenting? So, as my father, Meir, is getting more and more busy with expansion, and as he's doing so much advanced material and is preparing so much advanced material, for those who know and have been to a lot of the webinars, they know that the demand for more in-depth, more advanced material is only growing and is only getting more and more powerful. I'm sure you guys have experienced that, right? So true. Yeah. So that demand is requiring a lot of him personally. And we also want more people to find out about it, right? Everybody, we want to get more people on board, and we want them to be a part of this. But for him to deliver advanced material and get people into the introductory material, it's, I don't want to say impossible, but it's a lot. And if there's a way for it to be helped, then we like to do that, and I can assist with that because I have been around my dad, not only mentored by him throughout, but I'm talking literally age 7, listening in on coaching conversations and learning from him throughout my life. So I definitely know the material. Every webinar, every seminar that he's ever delivered, I've read through all the material, so I know it quite deeply. And we want to help people by getting them into the introductory material and then get them in front of Meir. So that's the idea, and that's what we're really excited about. Thank you, Monica, and I'm so glad that you guys understand what we're going for here. And for those who don't know me at all, I just want to give you a bit of an introduction about me, a bit about what I do, and kind of what I've achieved. I, business-wise, have had quite a bit of success at a relatively young age. By the time I was 25, I'd already established a $1 million company, which is still running today, by the way, and another company that is in a totally different industry, finance business. So I have a finance business, I have an events business. They've both grown and are alive and are kicking and are doing well. So that's business wise, and I'm only 29 years old. So I've done quite a bit, and a lot of people say it's ahead of my time, but I can honestly attribute a lot of that to the mentorship that my dad has given me and the guidance and just what I know from experience and from what I've learned over time. So that's a bit about me. Now, in terms of relationships, which is what we're here to learn about, I'm actually newly married this year, just pre-COVID. We got a wedding in, and I actually have a relationship podcast with my wife as well. It's called The Adventure Continues. If you guys want to look that up, it's a podcast all about relationships. It's about friendships, it's about partnerships, relationships, all the ships we cover. How to be a good friend, money in relationships, sex, you name it, anything about that. My wife and I co-host, and we have a whole podcast about relationships, which is very relevant to this webinar that we're doing today. So that's the idea. That's me. That's why I'm here. And are you guys ready to start the webinar? And I'll start it off. Let me know if you're ready. Yes, totally. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Okay, let's dive in. So the introduction I will do. First of all, agreements. Nothing that you will hear today is true. Nothing you hear today is true unless it's true for you. Okay, so if you take anything almost from this whole webinar today, if you can just understand this line, you've gotten more than most people have. Because if you know that nothing is true unless it's true for you, you have the answer for integrity. Because if you have integrity, you don't budge from what's true for you. You have the answer for ability to study and consume information, because if you can read something and you know, A, it's true or it's not true, you won't be able to take in nonsense. So nothing is true unless it's true for you. So far, so good? Great. Everything you will be taught is not what you expect, it is what you need. And hence, if you want to hear more of what you expect, you are in the wrong place. Everyone understand that? Everything you will be taught is not what you expect, it is what you need. And hence, if you want to hear more of what you expect, you are in the wrong place. Meaning, everybody can go to any webinar and you'll hear things that you've expected to hear. You can play the same YouTube video that tells you the same thing that 15 gurus have all said, and that's what you expect. This is not going to be what you expect, so just prepare for that. The data which will be taught is designed to bring results, not good feelings. So the data will be taught is designed to bring results and not good feelings. There's many things that can give us good feelings. We can go down a water slide, we can hang out with people, we can do what we want that brings good feelings. But if you want results, this is what you need, okay? Nothing taught today is new, you already know it. So what does that mean? Because you obviously are here to learn something new. But what does it mean? You already know it. The idea is that if you hear something, you are going to take that information and you're going to check to things that you already know. You'll check on that and you'll say, yeah, that's true. So you look back, you look at something you know, and you'll say that's true, which means you know it because you're evaluating something which you already have in order to say true or false. So everything which is presented to you today, you need to look at. And by looking at it, you'll know if you know it or if you don't. Does that make sense? Okay, so that makes sense. It's kind of a different way of looking at it, that anything you are taught, you already know. The idea is just to show you that you already know it. Okay, next. What is going to be taught is not what everyone knows and accepts and expects. What everyone knows and agrees to does not result in success because most people fail most of the time. So if you look at people in general, they might seem like they have success, but in reality, they have broken families, struggling businesses, crippling debt. Most people don't have widespread, holistic success, total success. Most people fail most of the time. And if they achieve success, it's hard to do it again, and it's a problem. So the idea here with what is taught is to give you true success. And that's why this is not what everyone knows and agrees to, because what everyone knows and agrees to clearly isn't working well enough or enough, period. Okay, so do you guys get that? Are you with me so far? Yes, yes, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, great. It is the ability to confront the data, to figure out what is true and what is false in the sea of misinformation that will produce the results. So if you just take the information in, but don't actually look at it, it's going to go in, but in one ear and out the other. Confront is to face something comfortably. If you can look at it and see it for what it is, then you can actually observe, which means to put it there and take it in. So you put it there, and after you put it there, you look, is it true for you or is it not? So the idea is to, first of all, confront it, look at it, observe it comfortably. And once you can do that, you can figure out, is it true or is it false? Most people can hear a speaker, somebody talking, but they don't actually look at the information. They don't confront it. They don't face it. They don't observe it. And because of that, because they don't actually confront it, they can't figure out if the information is true and false. They get lots of information. It's information overload, and then it starts to just conflict. They hear that this is true, they take it in, it creates a sea of misinformation, and they get to the point where they don't even know what to do because they didn't actually observe, is it true, is it false? Okay, you guys with me? Make sense? Thank you, guys. Thank you. I really am glad you're enjoying it. Good, so everyone gets that. So now what we're gonna do is a drill that some people might have done before and others maybe not, but either way, we'd like to do this together, okay? Okay, so here's the drill. Take a deep breath in, and when you take that deep breath in, keep going for as long as you can and check how long you can go for. So I'm gonna say on the count of 3, we'll take a deep breath in together, and in the chat, I'd like you to write how many seconds you held your breath inwards. Don't hold it in, but how long you can just breathe in for. So you'll breathe in when I say 3, and breathe and time yourself. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, take a deep breath in, just and let me know when you can no longer breathe in. 13 seconds, 5 seconds of breathing in, 15 seconds, 21 seconds, 22 seconds, yeah, right around that range, okay? So right around between, if let's just say the max is 30, let's say the max is 45 seconds that someone can breathe in. But the idea here, thank you for doing that drill. Why did we do that drill? The reason is that if you can breathe in for only about 45 seconds, that same principle applies to how long you can take in information. So if you can only breathe in for 45 seconds, believe me, you can only take in information for about 45 seconds, okay? Again, if you can only breathe in for about 45 seconds, you can probably only consume information for about 45 seconds until you exhale. So you breathe in, and then you need to exhale. Breathe in information, exhale. How do we exhale on a webinar? The idea is by writing in the chat. The chat is extremely, extremely important in order to get the results that you need. Exactly, participate. When you hear information in a normal conversation, you then say, oh, I hear you, and you have a conversation back and forth. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, but with words. Believe me, I've seen many people go through these webinars. The ones that get the most are the ones that participate. So use the chat, even if it's just to say, yes, I hear you, got it, fantastic, love it. Or you can say that you love my voice. Again, that can also work. Whatever you want to say is totally fine. So does that make sense? I hear you, I got it, fantastic, good. So everybody please make use of the chat. It will really assist you throughout today. Great, 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 I love it. Okay, a few more slides and then we'll bring the main act. But first, there's a big warning, a big, big warning. Warning, again, as I said, everything you will be taught is not what you expect, it's what you need. If you want to hear more of what you expect, you're in the wrong place. The data taught is designed to bring results, not good feelings. In this series of free webinars, you will be shown what you need to delete in order to create insane wealth, extreme health, and simple happiness. You will be shown what you need to delete in order to create insane wealth, extreme health, and simple happiness. Why do you think we're saying you need to delete it? Go ahead and write in the chat. Why would we want to delete in order to create insane wealth, extreme health, and simple happiness? Not serving us, unlearn, what we're doing is not working, false information, open space. Yeah, too much nonsense that we believe is true. Fake realities, delete, block shadows. Fresh start, we pretty much operate on lies, past cycles. Yeah, exactly. All of that is actually fantastic and very true. If you think about it, if you think that you're a Ferrari, but you have the handbrakes up and you've put bricks in the way of the wheels and you've taken out the engine, or you have the engine, but you've put something on the engine to stop it from working fast, you have a ton of BS, exactly. You've put a lot on yourself that is just a lot of handbrakes. So when you delete that, take away the bricks in front of the wheels, take off the handbrakes, take off what's stopping the engine, you open up to just what it is. You release the handbrakes, which means you need to delete things, take away, unlearn what you thought was true. And when you can do that, you can go. You actually are already a Ferrari or whatever powerful. You are powerful, all powerful, and you just need to take that away. And when you get what's there to begin with, you'll have you, which is perfect and which is extraordinarily powerful already. And you will then almost naturally create insane wealth, extreme health, and simple happiness. Great, great, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Perfect. You will realize that the only value a person has is in how much they help their fellow man. The only value a person has is in how much they help their fellow man. Okay? Very, very true. We can all see how that can apply. If you can help, you have true value. If we take the example of the car, you can be a great driver of the car. That's one thing. You know how to drive. But if you know how to fix the car, build a car, create the car, repaint the car, do everything you need around that car, if you can help your fellow man, not just live, but also get under the hood and help, you have the real value. It's more than just being able to live life. You want to be able to get in and to help your fellow man. To help man, you will realize you will have to learn, okay, you will have to learn how to help man fix his relationships with his body, mind, family, friends, mankind, life forms, things around him, other spirits, and God. You will have to learn how to help man fix his relationships. Now, if you can't do that, then that's just being able to live. But if you can get in and help somebody with their body, with their mind, with their family, with their friends, with everything around, and even with spirits and God, that's the real way to create true success. Now, people have a whole thing around help. They think that if you get help or if you give help, it should be for free. Help is for free. Don't help and charge. Don't help and take. Just do it for free. Help. That's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about help for free. In fact, if you help someone for free, you don't actually help them. That's the crazy thing. If you help them for free, you don't actually help them. What you do is you give them the biggest obligation that they can't get out of. You've helped them and now they're obligated to you, and now they can't help you in return. They want to. If you think about a time that someone helped you, you wanted to immediately help them in return, but exactly, eventually they'll resent you. Eventually they won't know how to return. And that's, in other words, that's what you do. Even in a slave society, you give to them. They can't give anything back and you limit them. So the idea is exactly exchange of value. You give help, they need to give you in return. Now, return doesn't mean it can be paying you, it can be doing something for you, spreading good words about you, but there has to be a reciprocation in order for there to actually be real help given. And if you think about that back and forth reciprocation, it creates upward growth. I help, you help, I help, you help, and there's a growth. Free doesn't last, exactly. So that's the idea. That's what's unique about help. So you should help people, but help doesn't mean for free, okay? Which is why you will have to make helping people your business. Yes, it's the opposite of what you were taught. You'll have to make helping people your business. Why? Because anything that you do, if you know how to help, you have almost a responsibility now that you know how to fix the car, that you can go in there and you can help. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you can go and also help people because you know how to do it, you now will actually create expansion and success in your business. Okay? Yes, exactly. If you can take what you learn and you can help another, you will expand your business, your life, everything. Does that make sense? Perfect. So this webinar is going to show you how, by you learning about relationships, by you helping, by you knowing this information of how to help people. Yes, I can explain again how it works that way, Reem. Absolutely. So if you think about, you just know how to drive a car. Okay, you know how to drive a car, but now you learn that you have the only real value is how much you can help others. So a guy that can drive a car can drive a car, but a guy that knows how to fix a car, build a car, he has a significant amount of value, more than just someone who knows how to drive the car, because he can keep the show on the road, because if a car breaks, he can get in there and fix it. Does that make sense so far? Yes, yes. Okay, perfect. Everyone can see that. So, or you can teach others how to drive. Exactly. So if you can do that, and you can, yeah, take the neighbor to the grocery, whatever, however that analogy has an endless expansion, because you have an ability to help. Now think about, not with a car, think about being able to fix another person's body. Think if you're just a personal trainer and you know how to make people healthy, or a doctor, or if you know how to handle somebody's broken relationships, or if you can help in any way, even if you do community service, can you see how your value increases in society? So that's the idea with learning about relationships, and about how to fix them, and about how to handle them, and about how, not just in relationships, with anything, the relationship with anything, then naturally it will become your business, because not only are you helping, you're not helping for free, you're helping for something in return. That doesn't have to be money necessarily, but something in return, and it will create expansion. And by the way, you will be able to charge for it. You will be able to be the best, because you're not just going to be, I don't know, a plumber, or not just a dentist. You're going to be someone that can help in anything after this webinar. That's the idea. Your value will go much, much higher, and you will have to make helping people your business deep. Yes. You will have to become a relationship healer. They have something of value to offer back. So you will have to become a relationship healer. That is the purpose here, is to make you a relationship healer in any type of relationship that you can think of. That's what we're going for here. Relationship healers, that's what you're all in for. So get ready. Okay, let's continue. If you really want to be successful, I can assure you this webinar is probably the most important education you've ever gotten. You can now understand why. You can understand why. If you really want to be successful, it's the most important education you've ever gotten, because you will learn how to be a relationship healer. This is gold. I 100% agree to this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ashley and Steve. I'm sure you asked yourself more than once why relationships deteriorate or are destroyed. Have you ever seen a relationship that just gets deteriorated? Not even with yourself. You see it with your friends. They were friends, they're no longer. Story of my life. You see it in business. You see it in love. Yeah, we've all seen that. Family, absolutely, definitely. Why relationships that used to be very good become less good? Why friends become less than friends? Why romantic relationships deteriorate? Less agreements. Exactly. Out ethics. We're going to learn. I thought the subject was, why am I angry, anxious, and depressed? Absolutely. Angry, anxious, and depressed has exactly to do with relationship with yourself. If you are angry, anxious, or depressed, that's deterioration on the relationship with you and with others. If you're angry at people, if you're angry in business, if you're depressed, you don't want to do things, if you're anxious, everything stops, not only you, but it ripples into every area of your life. Does that make sense? True. So that's why this is, if we just focused on angry, anxious, and upset, you'll see how this not only covers that, but it will cover a much, much wider spectrum, to the point that not only will it sort you out and help you, but others as well. Emotions arise so much from deterioration of relationships. Exactly. Why business relationships become bad? Why relationships with suppliers get destroyed? No communication, stop validating each other's contribution. Exactly, there's so many reasons. And by the way, no trust. Exactly, thank you. So you'll see that this is what we're about to dive into, okay? And why love seems to dissipate. If we had to put it all in one word, why? It's as if love in most cases is a temporary thing. Does it ever seem to you that love is temporary? People can see that love you think you love the girl, and then all of a sudden it fades away. You think you love your partner to be in business, and all of a sudden it fades away. You think that you love your supplier, and then he comes to you with a new story about why he wants to charge you double. Things just, and all of a sudden you think, my love was just, I was naive, or maybe whatever the case may be, and you start to think it's temporary. So you're not working to maintain the relationship. So do you guys understand that that is really the crux of the matter, that things seem to go down over time in every aspect of the relationship, even the relationship with your body? At first you love it, and as time goes on, you look in the mirror and you say, I'm getting old, or something. Just the relationships deteriorate. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, 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 exactly. So that exact, yes, yes, and yes. So that's the subject for today. That's exactly what we'll be covering today. And I hope that I've warmed you guys up well enough, because now I'm going to present my dad, who needs almost no introduction. It's what you're here for. He's incredible. I attribute so much of my, so yeah, great foreplay. I attribute a lot of my success to him and to what I've learned from him and his mentorship and everything that he does. So you're very welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the intro. You're very, very, very welcome. Thank you. Thank you. So without further ado, my dad will start. Here we go.
Hello, Gali, and hello, everyone. Isn't he amazing? And I'm totally unbiased. I'm really not biased. This is like, from an exterior viewpoint, he's the best. He's like God, more than amazing. Wow, wow, wow. I'm speechless. He is the best of the best of the best. Really, there is no one like Gal. He is so amazing. Really unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you. He can definitely communicate. Yes. Now you understand the accent. Yes, Gilly. The only problem is we need to fix his accent, but he can make the accent, any accent. Yes. Okay. Are you ready for some real, amazing, unbelievable data that will change your life? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. Okay. So the first thing I want to tell you, or to ask you, is a quick question, and I want you to look at that question, because this will take us throughout this series of webinars. It's, you know, I was thinking that it will be one webinar, one free webinar. I was talking to Ray, and I said we'll do 1 or 2 free webinars as an introduction, and I started to prepare what I want to deliver, just to set you up in order to put you in a position where you can actually control any relationship. Just the setup, just the setup. And there are 14 factors you need to learn, and those I've managed to do. Number one, to write number one, when I realized that to deliver number one I need like 3 days. So we will have more than one webinar. Yeah, there will be more than one webinar. Yeah, I know you're surprised. Yes, it never happened before. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. We're going to start with a question, and I'm going to dive into the actual thing. Okay. How can you know if you have the right answer? I ask you a question. How do you know if you have the right answer? Like Gal asks you all kind of questions about relationship. How do you know if you have the right answer? You have a problem. How do you know if you have the right source of the problem? Getting result, it has to work. Yes. It solves the issue. Yes. Yeah, very good. Excellent. So if this is a problem, okay, how do you know if you have the right answer or if you are actually using an excuse? If you're using an excuse, the problem gets bigger. It gets bigger. It doesn't resolve, it gets bigger. And how do you know that the problem gets bigger? How do you know that the problem gets bigger? You have more and more and more and more and more explanations. Justification. You explain and talk about it and explain and explain and explain. The more you talk about the problem, the more useless you are. If you are able, you don't talk. You show results. The results do the talking. So when a person says, well, it is because of that and that and that and that and that and that, thank you very much, he doesn't know. Because when you have, if I have a client that come to me and he tell me, you know, I have a problem, I don't make money. And I explain to him why. If he come to me and he sit in a coaching session, I sit with him for 1 hour. The next moment he start to make money while I'm giving him the coaching, because otherwise it's useless. You get it? If you find yourself talk more and more and more and more about the problem, you need to know, you need to report to yourself, you need to be honest enough with yourself that you're using excuses. You need to get immediate results. So how do you know that you have the actual source of the problem? And this is what we're going to do throughout this series of webinars. I need you to check if you have the actual source of the problem, if we're really dealing with the truth or some kind of justification. Number one, you can do something about it. You can do something about it. If someone tell you, well, the reason we don't sell is because the market is difficult, nonsense. Why? Because you cannot control the market. If someone tell you, well, you know, I'm upset, I'm angry because of my parents, and his parents die already. He's not in contact with them. He didn't talk to them for 30 years because he's upset with them, and he still blamed them. Nonsense. He cannot do nothing about it. They died. They don't talk to him. If he says, well, you know, the reason I don't sell is because COVID. Really? You don't see that COVID is a miracle? If you cannot control COVID, then it cannot be the actual source. Are you with me? So number one, it must be something you can do something about. Now, what I'm telling you, again, it's not easy. It's not something that you want to hear, but it's true. If you don't have results, you are using excuses. You have a very bad disease. No vaccine for it. No one even developing a vaccine for it. It's called excuse sclerosis. You understand? You can either be successful or explaining. Successful or giving excuses. You cannot be two. Welcome. Number two, the situation improves and improves immediately. So if you have something, you're doing a strategic planning, you're planning, this is how I'm going to expand, and you say, well, this is what I can do, this is what I can do. If during the strategic planning, the situation did not improve, you're wasting your time. If during this webinar, the situation do not improve, you are wasting your time. If I will tell you something like, you know, it's an inborn thing, it's a chemical reaction, it's something you cannot do something about it, you need to know I'm bullshitting you. Are you with me? Number one, you can do something about it. Number two, the situation improve. If someone tell you, well, you know, it's the universe. Do you control the universe? Really? Do you control the universe? If someone tell you the universe send it to me, what he's telling you, it's nothing to do with me. It's the universe. He sent it to me. Really? Are you so useless that you need the universe and that thing to send you something? Yes, you understand. You can do something about it. The situation improve immediately. Okay. I urge you to confront everything we will learn with this. Is it the actual source or just an opinion, excuse, justification, irresponsibility, etc.? You need to look at anything that I'm teaching you from this viewpoint. Can you do something about it? Not can I do. I may be able to do something about it, but if you cannot do something about it, and if the situation do not improve right now, please know that you're wasting your time on this webinar. Okay, makes sense? Perfecto. Perfecto, let's start. You had big love, and it's really not important if it was a romantic love or love of a parent to a child, or child to parents, or boss to employee, or salesman to a client. It is really not important what kind of a relationship, but you had love. You had a good relationship, and all of a sudden it seems the relationship deteriorated. It is not as good as it used to be. The love is gone. Yes, you just find that you fall out of love. You know, like you walk, and you hit something and you fall out of love. Yes, of course it's nonsense, excuse. Why? What is the actual source, not the excuse? What is the actual source? Why people fall out of love? Why relationship get deteriorated? Why all of a sudden you decide, you know, I help a lot of people, a lot of married people or people in relationship. Sometimes they are in a relationship a week, a month, 3 months. They're always telling me, but when I got to help them, is I never loved her. They have 5 kids. I said, at least for 15 seconds, 5 times 5 seconds, like at least 25 seconds altogether, you loved her, no? So why is it? Why is it? Stop giving admiration, but why? Lost admiration, but why? You quit creating the relationship. Because we have false data about it, yes. Criticize them. Relationship with self, yes. Yes. Can you actually have a relationship with yourself? Can a nothingness have a relationship with the nothingness? Something changed in me first. Let's define for a second, who is me? When you say a relationship with me, something changed in me, I change. Who is I? Who is this I? The spirit. What does it mean, spirit? Who is I? Who is this I for a second? Let's just clear this thing for a second. What does it mean, the spirit? The creator, nothingness. Who is I? The real you, yes. Who is you? Ego, yes. Energy, excellent. Not a thing. Okay, let me explain. Okay, so first of all the answers, almost all the answers that you gave me was synonyms, but not an actual answer. Take a law. This is a law. An answer for a question, an answer for a definition can never be another word. So if I tell you who is I, you cannot tell me or the creator, because I still don't know what does it mean. Who is the creator? I need an explanation that a 6 years old will understand, yes? I'm not looking for synonyms, I'm looking for an actual definition. So if you say me is energy, okay, so what is energy? Well, energy is this energy. So what is energy? Or me is the spirit. Okay, so what is the spirit? Or me is whatever, yes? So you need to have an actual definition. And let me give you quickly a definition that you can actually duplicate. So if this is the beginning, okay, this is the start. This is the beginning, okay, of time. This is time, and this is where time starts. Do you agree that time started somewhere and it's keep on going. Yes? Do you agree with that? Yes, it seems like it's keep on going, and we hope that it will continue, that it will not get tired someday. Yes? Okay, good. The word start mean was not here before. The word start mean was not here before. When I said the iPhone started in 2007, it means it was not here before 2007. When I say my relationship with you started 3 days ago, it means that the relationship was not here before. Everyone with me on that definition? Start mean was not here before. Okay, so we can say that this thing, this area, was not here before. Okay, this thing was not here before. Okay, now you can see that the physical universe is composed only of twos. You cannot go below 2 in the physical universe. The smallest number in the physical universe is 2, plus and minus, force and counterforce, big and small, beautiful and ugly. There is no 1 in the physical universe. Physically, you cannot find something that composed of 1. Everything is composed of atoms, and atom composed of electron and proton, at least 2. So far, so good? Everyone agree with that? I really need you to look at that, yes? You cannot find in the physical universe something that do not compose of 2. Okay? So you can say that anything that physical, or you can say that something is composed of 2. So far, so good? Now you understand that something is here and it was not here before. What was not here before? Something. So what was before something is nothing. So the creator of something is nothing. Do you see that? Yeah. If the physical universe is composed of 2, and the smallest number, when you break it down, divide it to 2, divide, you'll get to first 2 particles. You will see that what created the 2 particles cannot be composed of 2. What created the iPhone is not the iPhone. Are you with me? Yeah, only nothing can create something. Only nothing can create something. Only nothing can create something. So the spirit is this nothingness. Whoops, spirit is the nothingness that have the potential to create somethingness. And this is you. You are so amazing, so powerful that you can create anything out of nothing. You are definitely not energy, because energy is a physical thing. Energy is actually defined, so you will get rid of the misunderstanding of energy. The word energy means a release due to loss of potential. Energy is something that gets released due to a loss of potential. For as long as you lose potential, you will get energy. So far, so good? So you, the definition of I, the definition of the word spirit, is the nothingness that have the potential to create a somethingness. Okay, so why the relationship get deteriorated? What is the actual source? You can say that by this definition, if you are the source of everything, you bring something out of nothing, you're the source of everything, you can say that one of the definition of the spirit is this thing that knows. You cannot not know. You know. Don't understand, no data, you know. So why? You stop creating, you cannot create. The spirit cannot not create, the spirit can only create. And why will you stop creating? Stop creating the relationship? Not a problem. Why? I'm with you. Why? Become the body. Why? You stop to be source. Not a problem. I'm with you. All the answer true. Number one, can you do something about it? And number two, did it actually bring a change in any relationship? Sins, okay. Why will you do a sin? You see the problem. Because the relationship no longer serves me. How come? Why? How come that all of a sudden, where's the switch that says relationship serve me, and then you flip the switch and say, from now it's not serving me? What caused this change? Did you understand that something is missing here? Can you see that? If I look at the definition that we had earlier, you can do something about it and the situation improves. If that's the definition, if the answer that you're giving me right now is the correct answer, you will never have a problem in a relationship. Agree or not? If they betrayed you, why they betrayed you and not me? Why? How come you're not the source of the relationship? What? Someone spray on you a relationship spray and you just had a relationship? You understand? I'm looking for something that you can do something about and that the situation will improve. Does not work because we keep making excuses. That's correct. That's true. That's true. That's very true. We keep making excuses, but the question is, so what is the actual source? That's very true. False data, yes. Yes. Okay. I think you'll understand that something is missing here. Yes. Something we don't know. There's something hidden. The source is not in view. Because if the source will be in view, we will not have 30% or 33% of all marriages end up in divorce. Another 30% are dying to divorce. Another 30% just got used to it. And another 30% are in shock. You understand? You will not end up in 82% of all partnership breaking up. Yes? That's a lot of 30s, yes. Yes, you will see 30% of people, 33% of people get divorced. 33% of people want to get divorced, but they cannot. 30% of people basically dying to live, but they are oblivion to it. They got used to it. And the rest are small part somehow managed because that's the new relationship. That's the new marriages. Very interesting, yes? 82% of all partnerships break. Something is unknown, yeah? Something is missing. Why does someone that you used to admire, that anything they did seems to be wow, good, smart, all of a sudden it seems they're annoying, they become an enemy? You suddenly realize that the person you could not wait to hear from, the one that moved your heart in 100 ways at once, should better not be in your life. Isn't it weird? The same guy or girl that you could not stop watching the phone. When did he write? Didn't he write? Did he write? No, not yet. And when he did write, you had a whole board of 50 advisors to figure out what to write to her exactly. All of a sudden, she say hello, and you say hi after a week. You understand? Something is weird. Something do not add up. Something is missing. There is something we don't know about relationships. Something we don't know about emotions. There is something that causes us to be so angry, so upset, so insane. Did you notice that when you are angry, upset, depressed, you are also insane? Did you notice that it goes hand in hand? It's not the best time to make decision when you are shooting someone. It's not, especially not long-term decision, yes? When you are depressed, don't make long-term decisions, or not, even not short-term decision, yes? It's not a good idea, because when you have those emotions hitting you, something is cooking with you. How come your best friend, the one you trusted with your life, become your biggest enemy? What is the actual source? How come this guy, I gave my life to this guy. I trusted him with the biggest secret. He was more than a brother to me. He called me a family. And all of a sudden, he thinks that that it's better for him not to talk to me. He's better off. Yeah, but why? How come? Why do friendship get destroyed? Why do friendship get destroyed? And what does it mean, third party? It's wonderful. Yes, there's a third party. How does it work? Did you ever heard someone telling you, well, there's another person that said that about you, and you say, yes, I know, but that's not the problem, because when I fight with you, I have a reason why I fight with you. I can prove why I fight with you. True or false? Yes. You never fight with a person without a reason. You're not going to fight with your best friend if you don't have solid evidence that he is an asshole. Yes. You stop seeing the viewpoint. Yes. Why? We don't take responsibility. Yes, it's true. It's true. But when you actually have a problem with someone, do you actually sit and go to him and say, look, whatever happened, it's me. I just didn't take responsibility. Or you say, but or you go and you say, well, you know, you did that and you did that and you did that and you did that and you did that, and you have a shopping list. Yes, exactly. Something do not make sense. Why one person grows in different direction? What is it? Like you have you are an octopus and all of a sudden you grow in a different direction. You know, even you know, something do not make sense. Yes. Why do people that used to have good relationship all of a sudden become estranged? The relationship breaks down. Now, it is not important if the relationship was for a week, a month, a year, or 20 years. The friendship breaks down. Why does it happen? Why does it happen? Why partners in life or in business split? Something do not add up. It's not pro-survival. What's better? To stay together with a good partnership, to increase their partnership, to make it stronger, to be so well connected that nothing will break you, or to change wives like you change underwear, and to change partners and employees and friends? The first one, exactly. Yeah. You understand? Did you notice that when you have good relationship, things improve? Did you notice that when you have good relationship, things improve? You know, there's a study, the biggest study in the longest running study in history. It's going now for about 80 years, okay? It was done in MIT, and they checked like 2,000 different people, and they're going now, this is the third generation that they're going through, and they found this study, by the way, they took people from all walks of life, very successful, very poor, very rich, different color, different heights, religions, everything. One of them was the president of the United States. Many of them are very, very, very well-known people, and many are not. And they found one thing in common with all those people. They found that how healthy you are, how long you will live, how happy you are, and how wealthy you are is defined only by the quality and the numbers of good relationship you maintain. Yes. You know that if you don't have money, the only reason you don't have money, only reason, is you find fault with other people. You don't have good relationship with them. Even if you do, in your mind, you don't. You can have a good friend, someone really good, but all day long you find fault with them, you will be very poor. You can have a wife that you tell her, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you on automatic. You know, there's a thing that says I love you. It's not actually you, but you think that she is terrible. If you find fault with her, you will not have money. If you find fault with your children, you will not have income. I can tell you how is your relationship by your bank account, and I can tell you what your bank account will be by your viewpoint on people. That's why when I help a person on his business, the first thing I fix is him. Yeah. You need to fix him. What does it mean, him? His ability to love and admire his fellow man. Yeah. You have to fix that. If you don't fix that, believe me, you're not going to have money. Regardless if you're a Jew or not, yes, it applies to Jewish people and non. If you don't love people, you're not going to have money. Yes. Why do partnerships seems like they have been doomed before they even started? 80% of partnerships goes bust. Why? Why on the day of the establishment of a partnership, romantic, business, sales, research, political, any partnership, everything looks beautiful and full of life. And suddenly you realize you hate each other. They cannot be trusted. You cannot stand the other guy, even when you sit. How come? How come? What's happening? Yes. Well, if marriage will be unnatural, we wouldn't have so many marriages that do work, and we wouldn't. And then never mind marriages. If it was only on marriages, I would say, okay, fine. So marriages are unnatural, but it's all over. It's across the board. 80% of partnership break. So is partnership unnatural? Maybe they are right. We should have social distancing. Yes. Oxymoron, social and distancing, just telling you how much they don't understand the world. Marriage, like anything that don't work. The only reason something do not work, is because you don't understand it. If you understand something, you control it. If you don't, you find excuses. If you don't understand, you will find excuses. If you do, you'll bring results. Marriage, family is the building blocks of society. If you destroy the building block of society, if you destroy the marriage, you destroy society, you destroy mankind. Why with someone you used to love each contact with, you could not wait to hear from that person. You could not wait to see him or her. You just wanted to be in that person's space. Things she said used to make you laugh, make you alive. And all of a sudden, that person seems to be unbearable. You don't want to hear him or her, or from him or her, ever, much less to see that person. Something do not add up. This is something that really have to be figured out if you want to be successful, because if you don't handle relationship, you will not be successful. You know, I have quite a few friends that are extremely rich and successful. And when I look at Gal, my son, that's really, he's very successful from a very young age. I can tell you that the one thing that makes the difference is the ability to create, maintain, and correct relationships. You will see that people that are really successful will find it almost impossible to find fault with other people. People that are really bad will explain how it's impossible to have a relationship. They will not fix the relationship. They will not create a relationship. They will explain why it's impossible. You with me? It is, do you find fault? And then why you find fault to be right? Yes, if I'm telling you, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, I'm making myself right. For as long you will be as poor as you are right. The more right you are, the more poor you are. Rich people are not right. Rich people are understanding. Rich people are not right. Rich people are loving. How does it work? The same thing, abusive relationship. If you're in an abusive relationship, you don't know something about relationship. Can you imagine that I will be in an abusive relationship? No way. Why? Because I know something about it. You see the difference, yes? If you don't know, you will not have result. Okay. And even more important, how do you fix it? Well, there are only 14 ways to destroy relationships. And hence, life. If you have 14 ways to destroy a relationship and you are as alive as you can communicate, as alive as you can have a relationship, if you destroy a relationship, you destroy life. Did you notice that you feel that you're less alive when you have a problem in your relationship? True or false? Yeah. Once you know them, once you know those 14 relationship destroyers, you can create, expand, and heal any relationship, and as a result, create, expand, and heal life. I can tell you 100 million% that the only reason I made a lot of money, is because I'm an expert in creating, expanding, and healing relationships. I'm so good at that when I started my business, I couldn't speak English, yes, but my first business was in South Africa, in an English-speaking country. I didn't have money, I couldn't speak the language, and of course, I wanted to sell to one of the biggest companies in South Africa, and I wanted to talk straight to the CEO. And yes, the oil company, yes, BP. I went straight to the CEO. I couldn't speak English. I went to his office, never mind how I got into his office, it's a story by its own. And I had 5 minutes with him. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, and I left him after dinner and lunch together at 8 o'clock at night. And I couldn't read a menu, but I could handle relationships. I understood relationships very well. I understood emotions. Do you get that? And that's what you're going to learn. Because if you can do that, if you can actually handle relationship, I can put guarantee, I can put money. I will invest in any person. When I go to invest in companies, and I invest in a lot of companies, the only thing that I'm looking at, 90% of the decision is not the product, is not the market potential. All of this thing is not a problem. 90% of the situation I'm looking at is the top management. How are they with relationship? Do they understand relationship? I ask them questions and they don't even know that that's what I'm looking at. And that's, and only that, make me decide, invest or not. Only. And whenever I deviated from that, because the product looked like a candy, I lost money. You with me? The only way to be successful is to be an expert in relationship, because once you can actually control or understand relationship, you will see that the end result is something amazing. The end result of ability to create, expand, and heal relationship is income more than you can count. Income in terms of health, wealth, and happiness. So there's nothing more important to learn. Everything else, emotions, upsets, anger, all of that thing is a manifestation of an inability to handle relationship. Why do you get upset? You get upset about someone or something, no? So it's a relationship. Why you get afraid? You're afraid from someone or something, no? Why you get depressed? Because of someone or something. You are not going to be afraid if you are alone in the universe. If there was no other people and no other thing, you will not be afraid. You cannot get angry with nothing. Are you with me? Did you notice that when you're angry with something or someone? So anger, upset, depression, anxiety, all of that is just an inability to handle relationship. Do you know what the word fear mean? Do you know what the word fear mean? The word fear mean only an unwillingness to communicate. An unwillingness to have a relationship. That's all. Did you notice that when you're afraid, you close your eyes? You're unwilling to communicate. Which means, by the way, that what you're afraid of almost always do not exist. If I'll give you a cent for everything you've been afraid and nothing happened, you'll be a billionaire. With me? And the only thing you are actually afraid of, is you're afraid of being afraid. Because when something happened to you, let's say you're afraid of being shot. When someone shoots you, you're not afraid. You are in pain now. You're actually in a better condition. Are you with me? You're afraid of falling. When you fall, you are not afraid of falling. Yes, you are falling. You're already like, oh, wow. You're afraid now of the next thing, of crashing. And when you crash, you're not afraid of crashing. You crash, you have, you become a hamburger. You're not afraid of being hurt. You're afraid of being afraid. Once you got hurt, you got hurt. You're not afraid. The only thing you're afraid of is you're afraid of being afraid. Only thing. Now, before we can learn the 14 ways, we need to fully understand the 4 pillars of human relationships. Yes. If fear continue after you face it, you did not face it, or it's a new fear. Never, ever, 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 ever you can be afraid while you communicate. Because the fear, the emotion of fear is a wavelength of blocked communication. We will explain communication later, emotion later, and what do they mean and how they create it. But I can tell you that the measured wavelength of fear is a wavelength of an unwillingness to communicate. If you cannot be afraid and in communication, because when you communicate, the one thing that happens is you totally control what you're in communication with. You're totally in control of what you can fully communicate with, because fully communicate with something means to create it. Okay. So before we can learn the 14 ways, we need to fully understand the 4 pillars of human relationships. Any idea what are the 4 pillars of human relationship? What human relationship is built on? Agreement, respect, honesty, respect, trust, affinity, communication, trust, love, communication, creation, love, trust. Okay. let's start. Let's have a look. The first pillar, relationships are the most important thing in life. They control your health. They control your health. They control your happiness and wealth. They define the longevity. They define the level of happiness you will create, and they will define how wealthy you are. So far, so good? Now, before I will explain the rest of the pillars, I would like to introduce you to something that's called the gauge blocks. Do you know what is a gauge block? Do you know what's a gauge block? Did you ever hear the term gauge block? No idea. No. Okay. Okay. I suspected that you never heard that, and so I'm going to show you a video that explains it. It's a very short video, but you will see that we need it for understanding what's going on.
These are two pieces of metal. They are magnetic and they don't have any adhesives of any kind on them. The surfaces are smooth and they don't have any noticeable grooves. I can touch them together and they don't stick. However, if I slide them together like this, they stick together like super magnets. They are clearly stuck together and I can't even pull them apart. If I twist them apart, they'll go back to being separate pieces of non-magnetic metal. What's happening? Well, these are actually gauge blocks, which are blocks of smooth metal that are precisely manufactured to be certain lengths so machinists can calibrate their machines and measurement tools. The extremely smooth surfaces are why they stick together. Properly run gauge blocks can hold 75 foot-pounds of force before coming apart, and this actually is useful so machinists can combine gauge blocks of different lengths to essentially make more gauge blocks of many more lengths than they already have. They generally use the biggest ones they have so they can achieve the desired length without the small tolerances adding up.
Okay, that's the video. Any idea why? What's the connection between gauge block and relationships? Confused by the fact you say that the relationship is pillar of human relationships. Yes, so human relationships and relationships are two different things. Okay, human relationship and relationships in general are two different things. Okay, what's the connection between gauge blocks and relationships? Need to smooth the rough edges, need the method, attraction and rejection. Okay, affinity and communication between two individuals. Okay, let's have a look. Relationships are relationships only for as long as they are clean and pure. You have to understand, for a relationship to be a relationship, they need to be clean and pure. This is really important to understand. Relationships are relationship only for as long as they are clean and pure. They are held together by the affinity of the pureness. You will see that the ability to get to share the same space is built on a perfect duplication, which means 100% no lies, no dirt, clean hands, clean viewpoint. 100% duplication is when you really have relationships, when you really together. The more dirt, the more lies, the more impurity, the more poison you add, the less of a relationship you have, the less money you have, the less income you have. Much like gauge blocks, relationships are held together for as long as you don't introduce dirt, disturbance, and poison. That's the second part. So in order to have a relationship, they only going to stay together. People, you and your body, you and your mind, you and the physical universe, you and anything will stay together only when things are clean, pure, unbelievable. You will see that if even on the physical universe, if you clean your computer and you keep the relationship with your computer clean, the computer will work forever. If you keep your car pure, clean, without lying, without doing things that are not supposed to be, if you keep the agreement, if you actually communicate with your car, you'll have an amazing relationship with your car and everything will go well. The reason people don't have money is because they cannot communicate with money. They don't actually understand that money has an actual emotion. They don't know how to measure it. They don't know how to look at it. They know very little about money, and people that do have money actually understand that fact. And I don't say it because I understand it, but because I've interviewed many very, very successful and unsuccessful people. Yeah. It is unbelievable that relationships are like gauge blocks. If they're pure, they stay together. The moment that you start to introduce dirt, that's it. They cannot stick together. You can push them together. You can push them together. You can hold them together, but they don't stay together. So you have two kids, one from each side that hold the gauge block. So fine. So you stay for the kids, or you stay for the mortgage, or you stay for something. You hold the gauge block, but they don't stay together. Do you understand the difference? You have convenience. Convenience is just a situation when you took a two gauge block and you put them into a tunnel, and the tunnel hold them together. So do you understand? So, but it's not really. They are not together. You get me. There's no relationship. Yeah. It become obligations. Yes. Now, relationship require a connection, a link. So if there is no connection, a link, or if something or someone break the connection or the link, the relationship will suffer and will end. So these two gauge blocks, you need to have, they need to have clean surface, but they need to be connected. They need to be touching. There is no such thing as social distancing. The word love means the urge to share the same space for no reason at all. Two gauge blocks that get together have an urge to share the same space for no reason at all. Are you with me? Yeah. Now, since we talk so much about relationship, how will you define the word relationship? Since relationships are really important, I think we all agree relationships are extremely important. What does it mean, relationship? What's the actual definition? Not synonym, a definition. I think it's a fair question, yes? What does it mean, relationship? Give and take agreement. Okay, so it's dealing, it's a business. Actually, if you add water between those blocks, it will not improve. And actually, even if you take if you put them into vacuum, they will still stay the same. So it's not the air or the water or the oil. Willingness to share the same space for no reason at all. Okay, that's love. When they see the good in each other, yes. A union with two people who agree, yes. Communication between two or more individuals. Exchange, okay. Willingness to keep communicating, yes. Good. Let me give you a definition. Okay. Relationship is a word that describes the pureness of the connection between particles. Particles mean someone that can send and receive information. You can say people, but particles is more correct. Relationship is a word that describes the pureness of the connection between two particles. Does it make sense to you? Good. It is the overall condition that permits degrees of duplication. Anything that tampers with the duplication will damage the relationship. So far, so good? So if you cut the connection, you damage the relationship. Now, there are 4 reasons why people break or disconnect a connection or a link. why they break the relationship, why they destroy the connection. The first thing we need to do is to go over the first pillar of human relationship, okay? Which is relationships are the most important thing in life. They control your health, happiness, and wealth. Relationships define longevity, they define the level of happiness you will create, and they define how much money you will have. So in the next webinar, we will start to go through those. And once we finish those 4, we'll go through the 14 reasons. And once you will have that in place, it will be the moment where you will actually be in a position to start a relationship, not a second before that. So far, so good? Okay, so now what we're going to do now, so this is just an introduction. This is just to get you to understand where we are with the relationship. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to talk to you about a different subject, and this subject is called coaching in front of an audience. Okay, I want to talk to you about coaching in front of an audience, and I'm going to explain to you what coaching means and what's the difference between coaching and other things, and what's the actual definition. And we're going to do a 15 to 20% coaching with someone, and with Sonia actually, and you will see in real life how when you find the actual reason, things improve just like that. Okay, so here we go. Let's go. We'll talk about all the 4 pillars and the 14 reasons and so on and so on. We will go through everything. Okay, how will you define the word coach? What is the definition of the word coach? How will you define the word coach? A mentor, that's a synonym, a guide, to guide, teacher, synonyms. Do you understand that there are not 2 words in the whole English dictionary or any dictionary that are exactly the same? Someone who guides, okay, that's good. To lead, guide, to encourage, yes. A person who guides you, yes. Someone who can see the big picture, yes, that's good. Someone help you improve, yes, towards your goal, yes. Someone who helps another person to improve, very good, very good. Let me give you a definition of a word coach. An exterior viewpoint that sees the full pictures and causes an interiorized viewpoint to exteriorize, look at the situation, decide and act. The job of the coach is to get you out of what you are in. Imagine that you are within a maze, and you will not get out of the maze unless you will get out of the maze, look from the top and say, okay, fine, this is how we're going. If I will be on top and I will guide you, you understand that you will get out of the maze, but you will be my puppy. You understand? I will not actually improve you. I will solve for you a problem, but I will not help you. I will not improve you. I will actually make you weaker because now you are dependent on me. But if I teach you how to exteriorize from situation, how to find out what is right and what is wrong for you, this is the first thing that God spoke to you about. If I actually show you how to look at the situation, decide and act, what you have here is ability. Because the definition of, or the component parts of the word ability is observe, decide, and act. And you can do that only once you exteriorize. You cannot observe from an interiorized viewpoint. Did you notice that it's very easy for you to give a very good advice to someone else, but it's not so easy for you to give an advice to yourself? That's exactly the point. You're interiorized into something. Before you can demonstrate your ability, you have to be exterior to the situation. Before you can demonstrate your ability in the physical universe, you need to move from here into here. And you will not be able to demonstrate abilities in the physical universe a second before you actually can exterior from the physical universe. Every action that you will go through, every second, you actually losing abilities. You're less willing to demonstrate your ability. That's why the older you get, the weaker you get. Because every second that passes in the physical universe, you get more and more and more interior, sorry. And the only way for you to go exterior is by actually finding why reasons are never the answer. Prior cause is not the answer. You understand? This is all history, prior cause, experience. All of this thing is nonsense. It's actually make you worse. So far, so good. Are you with me? Excellent. The problem we are dealing with in handling a problem is a problem of observation. Can you look at you? And you cannot look at you. For as long as you try to look at you, what you say, I'm a physical thing, and a physical thing will look at the physical thing. When you say I'm a physical thing, you already lost. You are not observing, you are looking, you are already an effect, you are not cause. Are you with me? You don't look at you. You cannot look at you. You can only know. Because there's nothing to look at. You, this thing here, the spirit, is a nothingness that have the potential to create somethingness. Ah, that's a very interesting way to spell potential. Potential. Crazy, but yes. Are you with me? Are you? Makes sense to you? Excellent. A coach is not a teacher, a mentor, a sounding board, a decision maker, etc. Each one of those has a different, totally different definition, different doingness, and different result. The result of a teacher is different than the result of a mentor, is different than the result of a sounding board, and it's different than the result of a decision maker. Totally different target. It's not the same. He's a person that causes you to look. He will not cause you to look if he cannot see the full picture himself. You understand? If I cannot see the picture, if I'm not outside of the maze, I will not be able to coach you. It's nonsense. Most coaches are in the maze and they try to teach you how to look at the maze. You get it? How do you know that you're in the maze? You cannot define the walls of the maze. The walls of the maze are seen, but the definition of the barriers. What is the definition of the barriers? Words and symbols. If you cannot define words and symbols, you are in the maze. To get out of the maze, you need 100% ability to define all the barriers, all the words and all the symbols. Yes. Thank you. He cannot see the full picture if he is emotionally involved, if he does not have the knowledge needed, meaning he doesn't know the definitions, and if he has low responsibility, if he's not actually exchanging. A coach that come to you and say, I will coach you and you will pay me if you bring result, if I bring you result or not, no result, no way, he's not going to help you. And number two, if he's telling you, you will pay me without doing, even if you do nothing, it's also out exchange. It needs to be both ways. There need to be an exchange. So far, so good? Now, there are different type of coaching. There's one-on-one, which is very good, very expensive. There is self-coaching. If you actually can get exterior, you can coach yourself. You can help you can get coached by helping others, and by that you learn how to become exterior just by helping. The more you help, the less you're connected to the physical universe. You can observe others getting consulting or coaching, and that's the different ways. Now the purpose is to enable many people to get top consulting or top coaching. The solution is fast and to the point, and to train by observation. So I'm going to actually coach someone and giving consulting, two different things. I'm going to coach someone and giving consulting. So coaching meaning I get him to look, and consulting, when I consult someone, is I'm actually getting from him his viewpoint, enabling him to give his viewpoint. So before coaching, you need to consult. You're getting to give you this viewpoint. You need to be able to get the guy to look and actually communicate his viewpoint. Now the purpose is to enable many people to get top coaching. It is fast handling, not in depth. So this is not what I'm going to do. It's not something that in depth. It's fast, but very, very powerful. To enable all my students to get coaching from me that otherwise would not be financially possible. And every class I will select one or more students to get coaching in front of others, and everyone will observe and learn my tools, tricks, and tech, and will be able to use it in their own lives and business. And we're going to start after you agree to the following rules. The rules. During the coaching sessions, comments, questions, opinion, etc. are not allowed from the audiences. So if you are not the person that get allowed, you are not on the chat, you are not saying anything, you are not doing anything, you're not giving acknowledgement, nothing. You are not active, you are passive, you're totally passive, okay? The person that is being coached will have to go through various manifestations, as I will tell that person what the person needs to hear and not what he or she wants to hear. So they will go through different stages, okay? If the subject will be too big to handle on the spot, I will continue after the class with that person. I will not leave him in the middle, yes? And at the end, we will have an open Q&A session. So then once I finish the coaching, you'll be able to ask me, to ask the person question. It will be totally open Q&A session. And we will look about on how does it apply to you? How can you apply from what we've learned? And at the end, in the next week, I will ask you to share the result and applications. Is that fine? Are you okay with me so far? Okay, perfect. So Sonia, can you turn on your camera and the microphone?
Hello.
Hi, Sonia. How are you?
Hello. I'm well. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yes, it's very nice to see you. I'm so happy. So, Sonia, tell us about you, just so people will get to know you a little bit. Other than that, you are beautiful, which I can see.
Thank you. Well, I'm 42 years old. I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is how I know the lovely Ray for so many years. I am a mother of two.
Woo.
They are 11 and 13. Just your pretty typical blue collar working kind of girl. Spent many years in the service industry, retail, restaurants, serve has always been my thing.
Wow.
Don't have much to show for it, but here I am.
You have
and
two
I
kids.
I have two children. Yes.
Yes, it's a lot to show for it.
Yes, this is true. Yes, they are a handful. They're bright and energetic and wild, absolutely wild.
That's amazing that you allow them to be wild, because wild mean alive. I didn't see any leader that is tame. Leaders are wild. Leaders are the result of parents that allow them to be wild, that do not cage them. So well done, very well done.
Thank you. It wasn't always easy. It's been challenging, but they are who they are, and I love them for it. So
well done. So what are we going to talk about today?
whew.
What's the
Well,
problem that you like to handle? One thing that you really like to handle that we can discuss, and you will get into, I can do something, can be done about it.
I think we're gonna have to go with the romantic personal relationship situation.
Okay, beautiful. Talk to me about it. Tell me what's the situation. Define the problem.
The problem is that my head is going, run really, really, really fast. And my heart is going, no, stay. Like, this is going to be fine eventually. But
Okay.
there's a disconnect between the two, and it causes me sometimes anger, sometimes depression, sometimes I'm completely joyful. But
Yeah.
it has me all over the place.
Okay. Okay. So is it true that basically you're feeling that you do not control the situation? So you've got this guy and you just do not control the situation. You don't know if should I start, should I stop, should I go, should I run? That's basically it. You don't control the situation.
Yes, no control.
Okay, good. How will you define the word control?
I would I would like to know where it's going, like if it's going in a direction that's worth staying with,
Okay,
like if I should continue.
good. How will you define the word control? Because you want to control, you want to decide, I'm going there, I want to know where I'm going. So you want to control this thing, yes? So it's better that we will know what does it mean.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know what I want from the relationship. I feel like I don't have control over my emotions, which it's funny because when I do control my emotions, then he tells me I'm being very weird and strange and what's going on with you. But if I yell and I scream, then he's like, whoa, what's this? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Then I get the I'm sorry when he sees like the other side of me that I try not to show. Then it's a different story. Then he's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Okay.
So it's
so let's define the word control. Okay. Can you still see my screen?
yes.
Okay, good, excellent. So there is something that's called the cycle of action, and the cycle of action is the ability to start, change, and stop. Okay, you meet someone, you change things with them, and things will stop. You're born, you grow, you die. I don't like it, but that's how it works. So cycle of action is start, change, and stop. Okay.
Yes.
The word control means the ability to start, change, and stop. Every time you start something in your life and you did not stop it, you're actually losing control. Now, how does it actually work? It's quite fascinating. If this is you and this is your body, and this is after the first boy, after the first child, okay? And before we put on weight and all these things, and this is the mind, yes? And you'll see that in your mind, you have many processes. Your mind is like a computer. You can think about your mind like a computer. Now, if you have a computer and you open many programs, what will happen to the computer?
It slows down.
Slows down. And if I open even more programs, it will crash, yes?
Yes.
Every time you open a cycle of action in your life, you open a process, and like a computer, you start to slow down. Your ability to come to proper decision is highly reduced. And if you have many open cycles, you actually crash. And what you feel is stress. Stress is only the manifestation of open cycle. Only. The more open cycles you have, the worse you get in terms of stress. When you have open cycles, you cannot see future because you look only into the past. When you have open cycle, there is no future. You cannot. It's not that you don't know or you don't know how to decide. You don't look forward. So of course you don't know what will happen with this guy because all you deal with is past cycle. What happened with this guy before and what happened with this and what happened with that and this guy did that and that guy and that lady did that and this guy betrayed me. And every time that someone tell you good or help, in your mind there is betrayal. So every help is actually a betrayal for you. So of course you don't look forward. Yes, you don't look forward. What you do, you concentrate on all the open cycles, but because they're open and because your ability to compute is very low, you hardly see them. So all you can is have these emotions of ups and downs and anger and this, and one day I'm okay and one day I'm not okay. And if you did the wash, and if you did the washing, and if you clean the house and you close some work cycles, you feel better today. But you don't actually know that what controls it is the number of open cycles you have and nothing else. Nothing else. Simple. Now, what's the handling? Does it make sense to you, first of all?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So emotions are actually motions that hit a barrier. I'll explain what I mean. Emotion actually is your way of handling motion. So you've got motion, you start to go somewhere in your life, okay? And then you hit a barrier, okay? That barrier caused you to go somewhere. And then you hit another barrier. And that barrier caused you to go somewhere else. And then you hit another barrier. And that barrier caused you to go somewhere else. And then you hit another barrier. And it caused you to go somewhere else. And what you get here is a wave. And this wave is your emotion. Emotion is just how you handle motion. And you will see that emotion actually are measurable. They're actually an actual wave that is measurable. The word wavelength means the distance between two peaks. That's the word wave. Wavelength. Wavelength is just the distance between two peaks in centimeters, and frequency is how many peaks you have in 1 second. Okay? So you will see that the longer the wavelength, the lower your emotion. And I don't know if you notice that people that die, eventually you hit so many barriers that you die and your wavelength becomes 0. Yeah.
Yes.
And you will see that the more depressed you get, the more open cycle you have, the less you can do. This wave becomes very long. Like it is almost like nothing happening. But you feel stressed. You feel like the whole world is on your head. But if you actually look, you don't do much because you just cannot. Because the computer, the processor, all occupied. So what's the handling? I'm going to give you the handling. And if you do that exactly what I'm telling you, you will see that actually your life will change. What you're going to do You're going to make a list of everything that you've got open in your life. If there's someone that at 5 years old told you something that you should have punched him and you still didn't punch him, it's on the list. If someone cheated you and you didn't forgive him yet, it's on the list. If someone stole from you and you're planning to steal back from him, it's on the list. If someone punched you and you're trying to shoot him, it's on the list. Anything, like anything that open is on the list.
That's going to be a very long list.
I know. When you start, you write a book. Now, the point of writing the list is that when you actually write it down, you become cause over it. It's not anymore here holding your process, but you demonstrate some cause over it just by writing it down. Because you decide to put it there, you demonstrate some cause. And by demonstrating cause immediately, just by making the list, but make it full list, anything that you've done that is not okay that you didn't tell, anything that you were hiding, anything that you've done against other people, anytime that you cheated someone, anytime you lied to someone, anytime you did anything, you write and you write and you write until at one point, before you finish the whole list, at one point something will go away and you will feel great. You will not even know why, but something will change. Something will change and you will have a different view on life. Something will change. You will realize something. I will not tell you what you will realize. You will tell me what you will realize, and something will change just by writing. I don't want you to do anything. You will have an urge to go and do it. Don't do it. You're not doing anything. You're just writing.
Okay.
You're just writing those things. Now, what I want you to write is I want you to write what's happened and where was it. Just the location. What happened and where was it? Just the location, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And as you write it, you have the location. So you write this has happened and you write the location. And it will sound weird what I'm asking you to do, but please do it. You take your right index finger and without thinking at all, you're pointing to the location. Even if you don't know where it is, you're just pointing to the first location that comes to your mind. And you go to the next one. You will see that you will have some discharge. Don't stop it, let it discharge. You'll have crying, you'll have smiling, you'll have all kind of tingling, you'll have yawning, you'll have all kind of manifestation. Every time you feel that it's an improvement, you stop writing. And then you let it go away and you wait for an hour or two and you continue to write until you have this major, wow, now I know. Okay? Now, you do that, and what you do every time you get any improvement, you write to me. You write me on WhatsApp, and you tell me what's happened, and I will tell you to continue or not and direct you. But that's the general thing. We want to make you cause by closing this cycle of action. How? Just by putting them there. You put them there, will put you into cause, and you will see life will change. All of a sudden, you will become lucky. And you will know. Does it make sense?
Do I get to burn the book when I'm done?
Yes, you can burn the book when you're done, and no one needs to see it. It's really not important. What you write there is really not important. What's important is just that you're putting something there because you are cause. You putting it there. Where up to now it's been pushed against you. It has been pushing against you. And you didn't want to look at that. You're running away from it. So it's most of the time it's frightening. And when you're a little bit up, it's making you angry. And when you are a bit below, you start to be at grief. And if you go up again, you start to hate it. And sometimes you go into antagonism. But most of the time you're running this area between apathy, grief, fear, hate, anger, and antagonism. That's the band. And we want to get you from that band to the band of strong interest, enthusiasm, aesthetics, games. That's where you want to be, where life will become so unserious because you can fix anything.
Yes.
Okay. Does it make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. And do you
It
feel
does make
that if
sense.
you
Absolutely.
thank you. Do you feel that if you do that, it will help you?
I know it will. I know it will.
Good. Excellent. Good. So this is what we're going to
Put
do.
everything on. Yes, let's do it.
Okay, good. So now, before, don't go. So everyone on the chat, so do you have any comment, questions, ideas, anything, realization for yourself, anything? Everyone on the chat. Amazing, yes. Sonia, you are so amazing. Ray, from Ray, yes. Nomi, wow. Carmela, amazing, yes. So you don't have to handle the task on the list. It really depends for each person and what we exactly want to handle. In that specific case, it's imperative that you don't handle the list. It's really important that you decide, I'm not going to handle it, I'm just going to write it. You will have a strong urge, but I want to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. You're just going to write it. Once it will handle, once you'll have the realization, then you will see that the list, most of the list will handle by itself. Because you will see that what you thought is on the list, it's actually not so much on the list. It will handle by itself. Sonia, you helped me understand something big. Wow, that's amazing. Sonia, well done.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
What's the second part of the drill? So you make the list, yes, and then you take each item that you write on the list, you write where it was, and you take your right index finger and you point to the location. Even if you don't know where the location, you just decide that you know. The magic is once you're cause, you actually become you. You don't need to cause something, because cause mean using your potential. We will define exactly the difference between the word cause and potential and so on. But anything that you're cause over cannot hurt you. Anything that you're cause over cannot hurt you. And the only way to become cause is to put it there. You put it there, you become cause. You can take your cell phone and just leave it and you're not putting it there, but you can take the cell phone and put it there and you become cause. And you'll see that most of the thing in life you're doing as an effect. It's an automatic thing. You're doing it as an effect. If you would just start to become more aware, I'm not drinking coffee. I'm causing my body to drink coffee. I'm not putting down the cup. I am putting down the cup. The cup is not just an automatic thing that the hand is doing. Me, not the body. I put it there. And when you start to put there things, you will see that the physical universe, instead of just being there, will start to roll in front of you like a carpet that you roll, and you can decide how to roll it. It is very, very different. Once you start to be cause, just before that, you will understand that you know, but there is a few things that we still need to explain, but yes, it is wow, thank you. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? I don't want to let her go. She's so beautiful and so amazing. So please give me an excuse to keep her. Okay, so thank you very much, Sonia. I really, really appreciate it for you being willing to be the first. And thank you for Ray. Yes.
Thank you, Ray. I love you, Ray.
Yes, everyone love Ray. So you've got competition, stand in line.
I'm so glad she's back in my neighborhood, though. Back in Pennsylvania. So I win. I win.
You did something right. Definitely, you did something very right.
I've been waiting for like over 10 years.
Well done. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And if you think that this is good and amazing and powerful, please invite other people and please share your realization. And what we've done today is, of course, only the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the beginning, just to get you to understand how important relationships are and what they are, etc. Okay, so thank you very, very much. If you think that it's valuable, please invite your friends. We will get more in depth into relationships. We will find the reason why relationship break. It's not what you think. It is not what you think. Even if you study and you think that you know, and you heard about third party and you heard about fourth party and this, you will see it's not what you think. It is something totally different. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you very, very much. Okay, bye-bye.